wanted to bring our conversation into a space where I've actually experienced this myself with my clients, where they've gone through a period of grief and they've actually used ballet to bring them out of that grief, or they've just found, or stumbled across ballet again as an adult. But it's actually more common that happens when someone's actually going through hardship. And in 2019, you also suffered another loss, and you said that ballet really helped you through. So I wanted to sort of talk about and explore how you ended up back in the ballet world, and how perhaps, how we were talking before, going through grief can actually sometimes be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I mean, when I came back to ballet for the first time, which it was after maybe a couple of years after my brother passed away, and I was still processing that. And after my brother passed away, there was also a period of time where things were very difficult with my entire family. And that I hear that happens quite often when, a member of the family passes away, and it just kind of sends everybody into this spiral of grief and unhappiness, and nobody really knows what to do with that grief. And so I was in a really, really dark place, and I didn't know I didn't know where to put all that energy. I mean, I've always been physically active, I've always sort of gone to the gym or done something that was, just to keep myself healthy. But what happened around that time period was I actually saw a documentary on TV, the documentary Ballerina. I don't know if you've seen it. It's documenting Svetlana Zakharova and Ulyana Lopatkina and a bunch of other stars from the Russian ballet. It's an amazing documentary. It's so beautiful. And when I was watching that, I was just blown away by just the beauty of what they were doing, and the movement and the music. And I'm somebody who's very easily moved by music. It gets me very into a specific frame of mind, or just I respond a lot to music, even when I'm creating something visual, not necessarily dance. And when I saw that documentary, I was like, wow, I remember when I used to move like this when I was a child, and I was taking classes, ballet class. And that was really, I want to do that again, or I want to try that again, because, I'm so moved by this. I think they were playing a lot of Tchaikovsky, and it was, yeah, I wanted to move to that again. And so I signed up for my first ballet class. And there was just something about going back to the studio, and nothing else. I've never experienced anything other than ballet that has been able to just take my busy mind, my mind that just goes at 100 miles per hour all the time, and just silence it completely, and just be in now, and be in the present, and in the music, and in the connection to my body. And that was a very spiritual thing for me. And right after that class, I was like, oh my God, I've got to go back tomorrow. And it was, I don't want to say it was like an addiction, because that has a negative connotation, but it was like this sort of freeing of being able to escape, that nobody or nothing could get in my head for that 1.5 hours that I was in the studio. Even yoga, actually, I used to take yoga. Like I maybe my mind is just so busy that nothing can silence it. But ballet is really the only thing that has really that can get me in that headspace, that I'm just in another world.
That's one thing that I do miss, is having the opportunity to actually take class myself. I know that when I'm teaching, it's very similar. Teaching a ballet class for me, especially an adult ballet class where it's open exercises and I have to think about the content a lot more. When I'm taking younger students and we're doing ballet exam work, it's so ingrained in my brain that I can actually think about other things. But I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's something that is you put it so beautiful and eloquently, but it's something that is so difficult to explain to someone that hasn't taken a ballet class in that way. I always say that ballet is one of those things, and probably one of the only things, that can simultaneously heal both your mind and your body at the same time. I'm sure that there's other things that do that for people, but I just know from experience, especially friends, and I've told this story before, I have a beautiful friend who lost a child really, really young, and she just showed up to ballet class one day and she goes, "Hi, I can't talk, but I'm here to do class. Is that okay?" And I was like, "Of course, go through, take a spot at the bar." And she did that for about 3 weeks, and she's a ballet teacher as well, but she just needed to come and do class and switch off and just heal, and I've had another friend when he broke up with his partner and he said, "Can I come and do class?" And I'm like, "Of course." And for a few weeks there, he's a ballet teacher as well, and he just needed to come do class himself. And I mean, I'm pretty lucky I haven't gone through any massive heartbreak, in the last few years. But I know that if that happened, I would love to turn back to the bar and have that opportunity. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's so difficult to explain to an outsider though, isn't it?
It's so hard to describe. I mean, it's just really, it's like your spirit gets to be somewhere else. It's like a out of body in a way. And maybe it's also because of the high level of technical difficulty that also just really forces you to, focus in like a laser beam to exactly where you are in your body at that time. That there is no margin for error and being somewhere else, because you just can't. You can't multitask on that level when you're doing something that is so devilishly difficult.